Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Strat Gamer here, providing you with a new Anno 1800 episode. And today, this is a new Save Your Empire episode. This is actually our second episode. If you missed the first one, don't hesitate to check it out now. It will appear at the top, and it is also in the description below if you want to check it later. This is a save that was sent by one of you. I won't name names, so nobody is ashamed, but no, I'm kidding. I will, of course, put also that save in its initial version when it was sent to me in the description below, as well as the sort of fixed version too in the description below. So you can see it for the one who sent it to me, but also for everybody else. As you can see, he probably doesn't have season 3 because as soon as I loaded the save, it asked me if I wanted to activate these DLC of season 3. I will not activate them so that we can see this is totally savable without them. And I mean, actually, it's not too bad. Basically, the person requested help because the money, the balance was going up and down all the time, often going into negative. So that person was, wondering what was happening. As you can see, it just went into negative. It keeps going up and down. So we're gonna see what needs to be changed. But to be honest, it's not a disaster. It's not as if everything is broken, and it is also actually quite early still. You can see here it's only farmer and workers. On that one there are some artisans, and there are actually nothing in the new world yet. And in the Cape there is just cornfall with, once again, mostly is there any artisans? One there? Yeah, a couple of artisans. So this is still kind of early game. So there's not gonna be tons of things to fix. And as you can see now, it's back into big positive. So it goes up and down. And that's, that can definitely happen a lot when you're starting the game if you're not careful about a couple of things. It probably went up actually because the festival started here. Actually, probably not that festival, at least, because that festival doesn't change that much, apart from a few maintenance costs. As always, let's check quickly the newspaper first, because that's a big thing. So I can see that you are not in auto-publish, so at least that's good, but it seems that in the past you were mostly using money push, but not in this last one. Yeah. Interesting. And there is apparently a rum shortage, but that's very strange because you don't have anything in the old world. So, I mean, of course, there is a rum shortage because you haven't unlocked it even. If we look here in the new world, there are some islands that have been discovered because there's a ship here, but nothing else. There's no island actually taken yet. So now going back a bit into here, there are actually 4 islands. We can see, if we look at the whole empire, right now it's in positive, but before it was in negative. There is a number of residents, mostly these, as I said, farmers and workers, just a few artisans. If we look here, there is huge money in production buildings, a lot more than what I would have expected at this point. And there is also quite big royal taxes. It's 10,000 out of the 50,000 that you're making. And while having, let's say, sort of 40% of royal taxes on your investor-only islands end game is totally normal, to have so much royal taxes early game is something we're gonna need to look at. So then let's go just a bit into each of those islands. You can see this one is making money. This is what I guess the main sort of capital. This one is probably sort of a second capital, and it's barely making any. It seems to be going up and down. And then this one is not making money, definitely losing a lot of money, 2000. And that one also losing a lot of money. So now let's look, if I had to save this, and especially let's say in a hard difficulty, obviously we would start by slowing down, by looking at where are we losing the most. So this is actually here, right, that we are losing the most, and trying to fix that. Here we have a lot of money. We're actually not in negative at this point. And we are also in easy difficulty. As you can see, I can relocate. If you also, for example, pause a building, you'll see that it doesn't take any maintenance anymore. This is the easy difficulty. So, it's a lot easier to take our time. And that's why I'm taking my time explaining a lot of things to you and not just going directly for the kill in a sense. And that's why I'm actually not going to start with this island, because this one, I can see a lot of red, and red is not good, right? Especially this one says missing goods, so there's a problem. We're going to look at that. You can also see that there's buildings that are destroyed. This one and this one, which is never good. And lastly, I saw earlier, because I took a quick look at this before recording it, here, that you can see this one has no warehouse in range, or this warehouse is not even connected. There's also definitely a problem there. As always, when you're trying to, and we can see also a problem here with loading delays. The first thing to do when you want to fix something, after knowing where to start, which is usually in the islands where you're losing money, like this one, is to do Control Q. You want to see, where are you producing too much, too little. You can start with one island like this, or you may even want to also start with all islands, because this way, you can even see things like, without looking at the trade routes of that person, I can already see problems, right? Because even if there's trade routes to move things from one island to another, there are still issues. There is a major issue here where we're supposed to, when we need 171 and we're only producing 40. Then there is also an issue here, which is that we're not producing enough alcohol, schnapps, as you can see. It's not that much difference in terms of the max production, 94 to 92. But first of all, at this point in the game, you're still very early. Schnapps is your main money maker. And second, we can see that we are not going to that max production. We're actually only producing usually around 80, 78, which could be, for example, that you're producing too much in one island and therefore it gets full and nothing in another. And if there's no transport, then the reality could be a lot worse, let's say, than just the two difference. Then here we're overproducing. I mean, it's not crazy, but still, here we're crazy, we're overproducing. This is also not the items that you would really sell for profit, so I don't see why we would overproduce. There's potentially a small issue here where we're not producing at full capacity, overproducing here, not producing enough there. That could just be for the steel, which is not the end of the world. But as you can see, this is quite a bit of money. The steel in the early game is actually expensive to make. So we're going to talk about that. Overproducing a lot on soap. This could be because you're selling it. In that case, I would, let's say, approve of it. But if not, then I definitely wouldn't approve of it. And then another problem similar to the schnapps is the beer. We're not producing enough. and the beer is definitely the other big money maker. As you can see, 7,000 here, and this one was 7,000 too. So we need to fix that. Then here, not producing enough either. That may not be the end of the world if it's just for your Windows. And then the big thing I see now is you have started an artisans, but it seems you haven't really started artisans goods. So basically, your artisans are probably not making you good money, right? So this is one thing that many players sort of make that mistake at the beginning is usually you want to be, before moving to a new tier, you want to make sure that your previous tier is really solid, you're making great money, it's stable everywhere, and you're actually even making more, so that as soon as you move to the new tier, you can quickly start filling those orders. And often you can even start preparing for those things, right? So there are some goods that are unlocked before you need them. So you can start doing that. To give an example is you could be in the new world and you could be making cotton fabric for your fur coats before moving to artisans, so that then as soon as you move to artisans, you build a few fur coats factory and fur hunters, and then you have your fur. Just doing the opposite of trying to get a lot of artisans and things like this before going to the new world. There's a bit of sequencing that's also important often. And that was for all islands, right? I'm sure when we start looking at a specific island, we're going to see even more problems. Another way to see those problems of, especially missing goods is just to look at houses, right? Because your main money maker is anyway your houses. And there's in this equation of profit, it's easy. You have income and cost or maintenance, let's say, and for the income, it's mainly houses. So looking at houses first is definitely a good thing. So here you can see for the farmers seems pretty good, and for the workers, right? This is fine because the school actually doesn't give you money, so it's fine to leave it like this. This is less fine because the beer is definitely a big money maker at this point. So even if you can't make it here, you should be importing it, and it seems that either you're not importing enough because it is a zero, or not importing at all. But then going back to this whole big rate thing, I guess, my best guess is what you wanted to do was having those trade unions with good items linked to enable you to have a lot of lumberjack huts, and then around a lot of these sawmills to produce wood very quickly. The problem is in the execution of it, right? Right now there's no items. Therefore, you were only able to put a few of these lumberjack huts, because if you start putting more, then the percentage are going to start decreasing. We can also check that actually at this point they're already lower, which basically costs you money, right? Because you have two of these things. This one, it has 70. This one is also at 70. So basically, if you have three of those at 70, you're paying for three, but you're only getting goods of two, right? Because the productivity is lower. So that is already bad. But the real bad thing is that there's only two of these, but around it there's like 3, 5. You have 5 for 2 when it should be 1 to 1. They are both 15 seconds. I don't think you've put any, or you put -50 actually, to increase your happiness, which honestly I don't think you need, because you are giving the pub and the schnapps, so your happiness is already super high. Sure, having high happiness sometimes give you great festivals, but at this, and it's not like this thing is cost you crazy money, but still, I wouldn't do that, honestly. I don't see why we need to do that. You're still gonna have great happiness, you know? And so what it translates is what you can see here, where you're trying to produce 300 woods per minute when in reality you're only producing 70 wood, and therefore almost all of your timber production is just stopped. It's not working. So you're paying for it, right? 10 per each, paying for it in maintenance, but also in workforce for nothing. So basically, we need to delete all of this. Why delete the sawmills and not just add more lumberjack huts everywhere? Well, honestly, I think nobody needs to produce 300 timber per minute. Like, that's huge. You'll never need that. You can, if you need a bit more wood at some point, first of all, you can buy it there, especially with all the money you're making. And secondly, you know, you're making reserves, right? Like, this is going to go up to 2000s. You can have a few ships that you fill of wood for when you need it. You really don't need a huge production like that, especially at the beginning. You're in endgame, you have tons of investors. Sure, make an island that I call sort of a building material island that will really pump out tons of materials you can use in all your empire. That is fine. But at the beginning, your empire is not ready for that. So now we need to delete, a lot of this. That is not needed. Let's delete also that one, and then let's leave this one here. But this one here we also do need to fix for two reasons. The first one is there's no roads here connecting, and given there's no roads here either, that's bad because basically this whole area here is not working. It's not doing anything. So one easy fix is to connect this way. Another would be, to go around here or to delete part of it. This one still has no link, right? But at least those ones now, okay, we can do it like this. Now, we still have the same problem here, right? Where we have 2, 4, 6 lumberjack huts, but way more of these guys. So let's fix that a bit. We don't need this one, we don't need this one, we don't need this one. Those two are going to deliver here, this one here, this one. Wait, why is it not working here? Oh, I didn't put it far enough. And if I want this one to deliver there, then I need it here. But then I don't need these two. I only need one here. I only need one. Okay. So now we should be. Wait, there's still wood needed somewhere. Maybe I missed something. Or I miscalculated. Oh yeah, so here already 2. No good. Should be only 1, 2. That is very strange. Oh no, I know. It's because they are not at 100%. That's what I was saying earlier. Now that's the next thing we need to do, is actually space them a bit more. And you can see that it's not really great. So let's start using more space over here. Or actually, maybe even better, let me just show you the way I do it in the beginning of the game, right? Like, I'm not saying end game once again, having a trade union is a good idea. So then, first tip I want to give here is start with using this thing to put some trees, because this way you don't have to wait for the trees to be planted. It does cost you some money, but you have 27 million, so we're good. So now we have a bit more tree. Then, I mean, there's a couple of standard, let's say, layout. I'm not saying this one is perfect, but basically I just do 4 like this. You make sure that, you know, they stay at 100%. They cover each other a bit, but not too much. You put one in the middle. You put a rod like this. This. And then you just start placing them. Here. They are all still at 100%. You're taking way less space than something like this, which we will just delete. Okay, all good. The only thing about this is that sometimes the warehouse is not, one warehouse is not enough. You can improve it. What you do have to be careful about is, as if you can see here, the maintenance cost for level 1 is 20, right? And that gives me 2 ramps. If I improve it, I get only 3 ramps, right? Which is not even double, but the maintenance cost more than doubles. So when you are in early game, it is actually better to have several warehouses, which, you know, if you want to keep at 100%, maybe you put a bit more over there, rather than having one that you improve too much, because it will, once again, it's not in terms of money, it's not optimal. In terms of min-maxing or space, of course, you're gonna want to upgrade the warehouses, but for money, this is better. Okay, so we fixed this first element, and this wasn't like huge money, to be honest. Oh yeah, there's still this one here. This wasn't huge money. We're still in negative, but we did went from minus 2,000 something to minus 500. So that's something. Then continuing in, you know, in the list, we see fish 10 to 8. And it also seems that it's a bit more than 8. It's probably like 8.3 or something. So we need it. It's fine. It's nothing. Then here we have we have 2 problems. One is we're making way too much, you know, schnapps. And schnapps is something you can do in most of your islands. Usually the potato fertility, you have it a lot. Like you can see potato fertility, potato fertility. So you have it everywhere. So this one, I just suggest make it locally. Don't try to have ships and things like this. So that means we're producing too much here. And secondly, we're actually not producing at full capacity. So we have probably some schnapps that will stop because we're only producing 23 potatoes. And the reason why, if we look at the actual potato farms, is many of them don't have full modules. This is another, like, let's say, easy mistake to make, but costly mistakes. Because once again, you're paying for the full thing, but you're not getting the full you know, the full output, let's say. This one is fine, this one is fine, it's fine, it's not fine. On the other hand, very good use of a, you know, let's say a compact layout. One thing I will mention once again though is medium warehouses, probably not a good idea at this point. You probably want more, to have 2 or 3 like this. It will still cost you less and have way more ramps. But that's a detail. Let's leave it for now like this. Now you are in easy difficulty, so instead of destroying all of snap production, we can also pause them. So let's pause, you know, this whole thing here, and let's see where we are at. Similarly, this is a, let's say, easy production chain where it's 1-to-1. So there's no need to be too complex about this. There's also no modifiers. So now we are still above, we are at 16 for 11, but at least now we are at 16 to 16. And that means I can basically stop 2 more. And this, you can see right away that we're producing too much because they are full. They're all full. Not all, but almost. Okay, so now that will be good. And then on this one, producing too much, but here once again too little. This is the bad combo where your final production is too high and your raw production is too low. You're losing on both sides. And I guess it's because this one hasn't been built for some reason. We can build it and we can also stop it later. We can see this is delayed. So once again, you probably want to have more warehouses rather than upgrade your warehouses. Those, they have quite some range, even on those dirt roads. So they don't need to be all so compact. I mean, this is once again a good layout, right? Don't get me wrong. But that doesn't help you with the money. We are almost in positive. We're going to stop, we can basically stop 3 of them, not mistaken. So let's do 1, 2. And as you can see, I'm not even using silos or things like this, which would help. But at this point, so there is, as you can see, it's always rounded. So we are producing 10, but actually we need probably something like 10.2. So we do need actually 1 more. Not the end of the world. You should still make money, no problem with that. So we are good now. Similarly to the wood, I understand that you want to produce as much brick as possible, but indeed sometime you have to slow down. Not in easy mode, in easy difficulty, this is fine. And this is not costing you a lot. But if you're playing very, very hard, you may actually have to play with things like this. Then we're not producing sausage. We are producing way too much bread and not producing those 2 things here, which I guess we are exporting because I think we saw them here, right? Yeah, they were filled, so it must be coming from somewhere else, which is fine. Like, that's not a problem. Yeah, it seems to be transporting quite a bit of sausage and soap, so that's all good. The bread, we were producing tons of it, and it doesn't seem that we are. Here I can see this, but that's another island. So yeah, it doesn't seem that we are exporting the bread. Another way to see that is, or I mean, you could be passively selling it. Let's check. No, it doesn't seem that you're selling it. Just for those of you who don't know, you can sell by clicking here and saying sell. For example, everything above 1,245, I'll sell it. Or you can also buy, and that will be bought by AIs like Archibalds, because you don't have any other players. So as I was saying, you don't seem to be selling it. And in terms of storage, if we look just at bread, there's no trade routes links to it. So that definitely means we're producing way too many. You can see you have 4 of these. I think we only need 1, maybe 2. So let's try like this. Definitely stop these ones too. And once again, I'm just stopping them because in easy difficulty that stops the maintenance and the workforce, so that you don't have, if we need to rebuild, we don't have to rebuild. So yeah, we are now good on bread. You can see that here there is a small problem, but it will be totally fine. It's because this flour mill, you only need 1 flour mill for 2 wheat farms or for 2 bakeries. And because I stopped half of it. There it appears as a problem, but it's fine because it's basically 1, 0.5, 1. That will work okay. So we are now already in positive, you know. So that's great. The last thing that is missing, so there's two things, sorry. One is, as I was saying earlier, we're not giving beer. If I start giving beer, we're definitely gonna make good money on this island. The second thing is, now that we've stopped a lot of these productions and all of this, we actually have a lot of farmers, you know, that aren't working. And you may be saying, you know, that's not a problem. We have farmers, they give us money, etc. They do, but they actually also bring royal taxes with them. So the money that you make for them is, you know, starts to decrease as soon as the royal taxes comes in. And if on top of that, you know, you don't provide all of the goods, like for example the beer for the workers, then you can start making deficit for any new people that you bring in, because you need to feed them and you gain less and less money from them. That's something you do have to be careful around having too much population that's unused, let's say, especially for those first few tiers. When you get to later, like especially investors, basically, investors just spam them and it's fine. You'll always make money. But for farmers and workers, it sometimes can create problems. But anyway, at least now we are making money. It's not tons of money, but some money. If we bring beer, then we'll make a lot more. Then looking at this one, which was the other one losing a lot of money. We're good on these needs, which don't bring a lot of money, in 9 in total. And out of those 9, 3 are from the schnapps, which is not perfect, as you can see. We're getting the money at this point, but maybe it's going up and down, and we're not getting the full happiness. And the second element is definitely here, where, once again, we're good on these ones. The school is fine because it's just workers, not money directly. But once again, not producing any beer, not giving any beer, sorry. That's a big problem. Let's see a bit, and I see this is also where you're making your steel. Now, to be clear, I'm not saying that each and every single one of your islands should make money, right? There are some islands that sometimes are just not gonna make money because they feed resources to your big island where you're going to make tons of money. But yeah, in the very beginning like this, there shouldn't be an island making so much negative. And as you can see, this is definitely an issue. We're not making enough schnapps, so we can fix that. We're producing too much of these. That's costing us money. We are not producing enough clay for the brick factories that we have. That's probably costing us a bit. We are making tons of sausage, and I know that this sausage is sent to other cities, but we do need to check if we're still, I think if we remember from the start, we were making way too many, right? So there's definitely too many of these that are, instead of making us money, they're basically just breaking even, which is bad. Right here. Now we're actually losing a lot of money. Then we're not making enough bread. Not making enough of this. Making too much of this. Making way too much of soap. Which could be, once again, I know it is sent partially to other cities, but that's still bad. So now the key thing to do is to actually check where these things are sent so we can make the right decisions. Okay, so this is sent to that one. It's fine. This sends this one, and you have a second one going there. Okay. So those three, and this one seems to be independent then. Let's check. Yes, making too much, but at least you're making it locally, and here you're not making enough. So that's also another problem where why the money is moving. You can see it's moving up and down because you're not making enough, not making enough. We can fix that too. But at least now we understand where the sausage and thing is going, which, sorry, I forgot those names because they're not the name of my islands. Okay, so this one is Endegam, so that means this is Nova, Barcelona. Okay, so we need to select those three, and that's where we check. You know, we need to make only 10, so almost half the production. And here, well, it's even worse. We only need 4 out of those 20. So we're gonna make a lot of, I mean, basically, I think the easiest is to stop them all. You press Shift and beam, they're all stopped. Similarly here, stop everything, stop everything. So I've stopped them all, and then we can just restart a few. For example, I think we're gonna restart 2 of these to start. And 2 of these require indeed 4, if I remember correctly. So that's fine. And then we're probably also gonna get into the same solution, the same situation as the previous island, where we're gonna have way too many workers and farmers, which means you're creating now a lot of royal taxes for nothing, right? So let's see. So it's 4 out of 4, but is it? We need 1 more. Because as you can see, once again, it's just a bit more than 4. So let's just put, and we don't have to put the full production, similar to what we did with the bread last time, and just make half. That should be fine. And then we do need some sausage. Sausage, we're gonna need a bit more. And actually, I see I didn't stop the sausage. So let's, I forgot. What was it? It was half, right? It was on 10. So we're at 4. Maybe let's check. I haven't checked if you have put working conditions either. Yeah, well, let's see that right now. That's way too many. We can see it on the map. It's taking so much space. We're at 8. I think we need at least 2 more, maybe 3, depending on the rounding up or down. To everybody who's still watching, you know, do tell me how I can make this episode even better. I know that sometimes it is a bit tedious to, let's say, save or fix somebody's save, but I'm also trying to really show you why and I'm doing things and how you can, you know, learn from that. Do tell me if you have other comments. So we are now fixed on the sausage and on the soap. That's great. Now we want to fix the local industries and in particular the schnapps. As you can see, we need 4 more. So actually, where are your schnapps? And just copy your setup. Let's see if there's any space. Oh yeah, that's fine. Perfect. That should be enough. Now 32 can even, because there's 4 here indeed. You. Okay, 28, perfect. just a bit too much on these ones. Let's stop a few. Yeah, it's fine. Making too many of these. Do you have an item or something here? There's only one clay deposit, so I don't know what you do here. Yeah, you increased it for some reason. As you can see, this is 30 seconds, this is 1 minute. So it's 1 for 2. So now we have 1, 2, that will be perfect. We will make 2 out of 2. That's all good there. Here we're missing a bit of this. You can see that your steel production is costing some money, right? It's 600 plus 200 plus 100%. So that's almost 1,000 out of this. So if we stop it, obviously you're gonna be positive. You could also stop part of it, especially now you're making, you're full. So why having so much when you're full, right? The good thing is you have almost the perfect ratios, 3 for 2. For 2 of these, the only problem is you don't have 100% on these guys. So once again, you're sort of losing space for you're paying for something and not getting your full money. Yes, and this one is also not that one. Yeah, it's having those things too close doesn't work. Need some space. This is like trees. Okay, so at least now it will be full, but if I do this, now you're, I think, which one was, this is fine. The schnapps is not yet stabilized. It should come pretty quickly, but not there yet. As you can see, it's moving. What else did we say? That's fine. And yes, you're not producing any beer. I understand you can't fully produce it here, but at least we should import it. I mean, beer is basically the one island where at the beginning, for example, this island here, I wouldn't mind seeing it in negative because that is the island where you're supposed to produce tons of beer to send it everywhere. But here I see very few. I see only here, which I don't even know if it is enough. It seems enough for your local production, but you're not sending it anywhere. That's definitely the one thing to do. And if you say, okay, but I don't have enough space, then, this is when you can start having things like your sausage, your soap, or even, your clothes, your work clothes made on another island to bring it to this one, that this one can focus on making tons of beer. The other thing is, in the beginning of the game like this, you shouldn't have steel production on each of your islands. This is way too expensive to have it on several islands. So I'm definitely destroying this. And now you're already gonna be in positive. I mean, we went from, when you sent me the save, I think you were at minus 66 or something like this. We're already almost at 9,000. And that is without without bonuses for money, right? So that's definitely, if we do put a newspaper, we're gonna be way more. Oh, and another there. Oh yeah, that was way too big production of steel. You don't need this. I see this is your Windows production. And so many, you have 2, 3. Yeah, that's the right ratio, it seems, but it seems to be a lot, to be honest. Once again, yeah, as you can see, fairly good ratios. But if we go to the artisans, you can see we're not giving them rum, which is your main money maker at this point, and we're not giving them those two things here, which also make quite good money, and not enough, it seems, sausage and bread. As we saw earlier, the sausage was made locally, but not enough. We just need to increase that. Soap was too much, and my bread is here. It wasn't enough, either. That's why you're fluctuating once again. Where's your bread production here? No, that's not bread. That's here. I'm obviously doing it quite quick and dirty, just trying to find a space that fits. Let's put it like this. That's not perfect. Let's just rebuild it. Bakery. And the other was sausage. This is your soap. Yeah, sausage. Okay, and I don't think we needed that much. Maybe let's just take that. Stick it there. Finish the road. Okay. So now we are making enough sausage, enough bread. There must be a farm that's not that full. Sorry, that's not what I wanted to do. Is you look here at the base productivity. You can see it should be 100% for these, but a few are not at 100%. You're missing some fields. That's another tip. You can easily see the ones that are missing because they're not at 100% here. And then as soon as you do that, you should be fine on the wheat. Yep. Once again, this is not major things, but they add up. They add up to a lot of money, as we've seen. Oh, what happened there? Oh, we are so low on... That is bad. You're definitely missing a lot of distilleries here, which is also because you have tons of workers. One simple fix here at this point actually would be also... no. If we were good on those productions, which we are not at this point, we just built those things, so it's gonna take just a few minutes. But if we were, I would just increase my artisan population actually, because the artisans also don't. So right now I need schnapps for the workers, then for the artisans I don't need schnapps anymore. And it's a small detail, right? And I'm not saying you can't do beauty buildings, right? But putting that variety theater here, for example, with a lot of those trees, right? If you had a road here, for example, these guys would get coverage, but now they're not getting it. The fact that you need to go there to reach here means those guys have not the greatest, whereas if you had a road here, it would be a lot better. Even worse over there. And it's the same for your schools. So basically what it means is with a layout like this, which once again, I'm not saying you can't do, but just try to be a bit, let's say, smarter about it in your road. You're going to need more of those city buildings, which then cost you money. Because, for example, I was trying to improve those houses here, and they didn't have good access to the school, right? Let's put some money to see, where we can go. At this point in the game, I think you have, you can put those two. Then you can put either this need consumption -30, so you have less buildings, or potentially this happiness, especially if you're not giving things like the rum that can help, and that can also give you festivals. So this is good. And as I was saying, maybe let's try to Let's do this actually. Even there, you know, your rod doesn't go around. So of course, that guy here is not getting great school access. Even if the school is not that far, like the school is just there, but it needs to go like this, like this, like this, and all the way around here. That's definitely not optimal. Okay, we're starting to get a few houses. As I was saying earlier, you know, that will help. So we have way too many workers now that I killed your steel production. That will definitely also jump our money because artisans make more money for sure. I mean, each new tier makes more money than the previous one. And now let's take a quick look at our schnapps. We're still underproducing. It's good to make few. 1, 2, 3. See. Once again, I'm just doing it quick and dirty. Don't tell me this layout is crap. I know it is. Make sure it goes at full production.
You restore a grain of my trust.
Cover those corners. Not lose too much space. Yeah. So let's see now. Perfect. Oh, I think I'm gonna be missing here by 1 die. So we're back into great positive. I mean, now everybody is in positive, especially with the with this newspaper. And here making good money. Here we're also making good money. I haven't really checked, but it seems we're producing fine. Except we haven't started on the artisans production, I'm guessing. You know, it's fairly okay, making just a bit too much of fish, but that's not big money. Yeah, just one small problem here. Just missing 1. You need 6, you have 5. But that's not the end of the world. Yeah, all good, all good. So indeed. So the next step is very clear, is you need to start the new world. You start having an island, take an island where you can make rum. So that one, for example, you can make rum. That's good. The only problem with that one is you can't make cotton. This one you could make rum and cotton. So that could be a great one, even if there's not that. Oh, there's this area here. So I would put your city here, quick city here. Then, you know, this could be your rum part, could be your cotton one, and start delivering that to those islands. Then the other thing, as I was saying earlier, is really to make sure you create a real production of what is it here, of beer for your empire. So you know, you control Q, select all of these at least, because maybe you do a separate one for the Cape. You look at your beer. Sorry. You need 13 in total. You're only producing 10 right now, so you need to produce a bit more. And then start delivering it. Deliver it to your islands. Make sure that you put, if you go to here, you put a minimum stock on the island where you're producing it. Maybe, 50, it's fine, it doesn't need to be a lot. And then you start delivering it. So here it is, ladies and gents. Thanks for watching this episode. Don't hesitate to share any thoughts, questions, feedback that you may have. And also, if you have a save for me that you want me to sort of fix, save, change, don't hesitate to share it. Send it to my Gmail address or join the Discord community to be able to share it with me. So yeah, I hope you like this episode and I hope to see you next time.